Hello, everybody. It's so good to see so many of you here, all big fans of transport digitalization. My name is Eva Killer, and I'm from Estonian Ministry of Climate, and I'm also lead of this fabulous project that we have the first annual yearly conference today. And because we have so many interesting speakers today and very interesting panels coming up, I'm not going to speak at the moment longer, but I'm very happy to ask Annika Kroon, who is from DG Move, and she's head of unit Maritime Transport and Logistics, and she has experience in transport and logistics already 12 years. And her favorite transport mode is high-speed train, particularly, if I'm not mistaken, Shinkansen. So the floor is yours, Annika. Very, very happy to have you here.
Thank you, Eva. Thank you for inviting me and team here, and of course for leading this project, which is really important for FT implementation. Indeed, I'm head of unit where we deal with the FT implementation, and I was very happy to give this keynote speech. Indeed, it's Shinkansen, which is my favorite, but it's for transporting people mostly. So we focus today on cargo, and I don't know, I don't think that in Japan they provide this service for cargo, but for people it's excellent. It runs like metro, and it gives an idea that it should be possible also in Europe, but this is a different vision. Also in one of the kind of highlighted in mission letters to our new commissioner, but we'll see. Today we talk about freight. So indeed, FT, and maybe I start with introducing our FT team who is today here, Leah, Villu, George. This is and Paolo is someone fourth of the team who should arrive, but just to give you an idea, in 2017 it was just Leah dealing with that, picking the idea from the industry and carrying it over, and now we are here 7 years later with a certain things already happening on ground. It might sound as a long time, but it has been very exciting first, then very challenging project. Then now and then it's exciting again, but mostly it's challenging. So every step we go, we discover that there is more to it, something we have not thought about it. And it's because of high ambition, but also high complexity of this project. And it has taken us in the Commission, plus the whole industry in Digital Transport Logistics Forum, who has supported us along the way, as well as member states and these projects we are talking today. So, but just to recall, what is FT about? It's eliminate paper documents in freight transport, make it happen everywhere, in every member state, independently when you travel, making it happen whatever transport mode you will use. And for that we need IT environment, FT environment, with the FT gates on the national governance side, with the platforms on the operator side. Doesn't sound so complicated. But given that we had to accommodate regulation from 7 pieces over 50 years, 7 European pieces, 200 national pieces of regulation, screening and trying to convert it into machine-readable data sets, then think about all different business use cases from the perspective of different authorities, from the perspective of different setup of national administrations, so that every single step we have learned that it's much more complex than we initially thought about it. But we have made a very good progress. We have already in place FT data sets with the 2 delegated acts which defines the national legislation in the scope, and the huge data set, FT data set and subsets, yes, which was even challenging from the Commission perspective to get it through the pipelines of our IT systems, because it was too big, and structured data model is not something that Commission is dealing on a daily basis. So it took us a month to figure out how our decide systems can function with that. But it's there. We have also worked with the member states closely to get in place the Implementing Act, which defines the specifications for IT systems to be used by authorities. And now we are working on very challenging task to define a specification for implementation of FT platforms, which we really see that there is more. Every step we discover that there is more to learn, and every kind of use case has a different perspective, and we need to bring these different perspectives together. But yes, overall architecture, I understand that there was 8 different models to discuss before we landed on the one. And yes, it's just to give you an idea how complicated the whole project is. But it has also great potential. If we make it happen, the administrative savings for operators, that's the preliminary, or that's the primary goal of the regulation, of course. But it also paves the way for digital compliance checks on the authority side. It provides data for reuse for different purposes. It paves the way that the same structured data on FT platforms, which are private platforms, can be used for different purposes, because there should be business model, and if there are defined rights and ways to use this data, it can be provided. It could be additional service on the platform side. It could be also that your trucks will not be stopped anymore on the side for roadside checks, but it can be checked just via the license plate, what type of cargo and which type of control should be applied to this cargo. And of course, we have to be sure that data is safe. There are clear rules about who can access which type of data. So this is also part of the FT environment. So we are very, very grateful for all input we have got from our community. It's a big community and continues to be so. We have also then 2 self-finance projects in place. Today we talk about eFTI4EU, which started a bit more than 1 year ago. It's meant to focus primarily on supporting implementation of the authority side, the FT gates. But another project has been also been successful in applying for money, and it's FT for all. It has been started, and it's meant to build synergies with eFTI4EU and go beyond, working also on testing the connections with FT platforms and their use. And this input is really, really valuable, because we can put the legislation as a general frame, but we still need very specific specification for IT systems as a guidelines, which can guide the IT developers on their way to develop different platforms. So this input is really, really important on your side, and it's important to keep the connection between the project implementation and our team, so that we are in line, we stay in the same frame, we learn from you, and you are well aware what is happening on our side. And this is happening, as I understand. So, future. As I said, FT has a huge potential to be also seen in the international context, because we have used the data model, which is based on UNC-FACT multimodal data. We also take care that the standards which we develop here and test and check here will be reflected at the global level, and it's the potential to become a global standard. And even the FT as such has a potential to become an implementation model of ECMR, for example. But of course, it takes all more work, and first we have to make it work here on the ground. And it is also big building block in this bigger vision of making transport fully paperless. It was in sustainable and smart transport strategy, one of the milestones to be achieved by 2030. And I think we can even be there. It is again in the mission letter of our commissioner. So we will use FT to build also on this vision. It will not be easy again, but FT has shown that we may encounter these difficulties, but it's worth to sort them out and move on, and yes, safely, securely, and more efficiently. So thank you, and I'm waiting forward to listen to these different perspectives today, and it's really for me the opportunity to connect to you and learn. Thank you.